Hello, this is Laurie Petrie with part 4 of how to design and manufacture an assembly fixture. Essential features of the overload clutch are the springs and detents. The springs force the detents outwards to engage in the drive part of the clutch. There are 16 detents, 16 springs and 4 loading springs. It is vitally important to calculate the force necessary to compress all these springs so as to ensure that the assembly fixture works first time. Remember that this clutch must be working by first light of tomorrow morning. Many programs are now available on the internet to help you calculate the spring forces. These programs are excellent for the beginner or persons who don't wish to learn the full theory. All you have to do is measure the inner or outer diameter of the wire, the number of working coils, the free length, the loaded length, and the material you are going to use for the spring. However, with these measurements you can also do a lot more, which I will teach you in later videos. I generally prefer to go back to basics and use the strength of material formulae to calculate the spring forces. You get more of a feel, which I believe is so important, so that when you have to design a really important spring, it is the best design that it can possibly be. The best book I have ever found is Spring Design and Calculations by John A. Roberts. First written in 1947. As a third-year apprentice, I still remember receiving this book as a free gift in 1961 from Herbert Turry & Sons, which I have treasured ever since. Old copies are still available on eBay. Here is a typical example of the first edition. However, I would advise you to obtain the latest edition possible. Whilst we had to remember every formula at university, nowadays I always refer back to this book for my spring designs. Of course, with these formulae, not only are you able to calculate the spring force, but also whether the load is suddenly applied, the expected life of the spring, and many more essential design properties. The book covers the design of square and rectangular section springs, volute springs, conical springs, valve springs, leaf springs, Belleville washers, waved washers, and circlips. I tend to use digital calipers for spring measurements, as they are accurate enough for this type of work, except perhaps for where the diameter of the wire is a non-standard size. Now, armed with the knowledge of how much force the springs are exerting, I can easily calculate the total force that has to be overcome by the bolts of the assembly fixture.